Mitch McConnell, the latest that we're hearing, is that he's willing to bring something to the floor, indicating that he doesn't have his caucus. Can you reach an agreement this week even on unemployment, on the key factors, on eviction moratorium? What can you do, and how do you believe the talks are progressing?
Well, I do believe that we have to reach an agreement. What the timetable is really relates to the progress we make. How big will the bill be, for how long, and how long will it last? Those are the questions. But we have some very specifics because, as you know, in legislation, the devil is in the details. We think the angel should be there as well, and that's what we're having an understanding of what it actually means when you say this. But it is. We still are a distance apart in terms of state and local, which we think is essential, that we honor our heroes, that's why it's called that, by supporting the work that state and local government does to fight this virus and to provide services to people in the meantime. If we don't do that, we will be abandoning them with the costs that they haven't incurred for fighting the virus. And secondly, they'll be firing many people, and that goes on the unemployment into the unemployment ranks, which doesn't save money. Basically, just to enlarge the issue, if we don't do something significant, we will not only be delinquent in our duties to fight this virus, which is the way to open our economy and open our schools safely for our children and grandchildren, but we will also be increasing the damage to our economy. And that's what the economists, the chairman of the Fed, everybody recognizes that. This is big. It's a pandemic which has caused an economic downturn. We have to address the pandemic to reverse that, and we have to do it in a significant way. And that's the discussion that we're having. I'm confident that we will have an agreement. The timing of it, I can't say. And because I don't know.
Let me ask you.
It just depends.
Understood. Do you have any confidence that the president would sign on to whatever Meadows and Mnuchin agree on, presuming that Meadows and Mnuchin can agree amongst themselves because the Republicans have disagreed? Is the president going to agree to whatever you have negotiated?
Well, I do trust that Secretary Mnuchin and Mr. Meadows represent the president. He trusts them, and we trust that that he's aware of our conversations. What's really curious about this, because this is different from any negotiation we've had before, because we're in the middle of a pandemic. People are dying. So there's an urgency that is different from before, and the pandemic has caused economic suffering of such a magnitude that cannot be reversed until we address the pandemic. So we're in a bit of a different kind of a dynamic. Secondly, we have a bill. We passed it nearly 3 months ago. They haven't passed anything. And as you've seen from the majority leader, Mr. McConnell, they don't have the votes. They have the votes for practically nothing. They haven't passed anything. They don't even have the votes within their own 51. In other words, I'm not talking about 60 votes. I'm saying, what is it that they, from strength, can bring to the floor? Last week, they brought something that was $200. Well, it was a non-starter, but even with that, it didn't have the full support of the Republicans in the United States Senate. So it's unlike other negotiations in terms of it's a matter of life and death, the lives of the American people, the livelihood of our families economically, and the life of our democracy. But it is also a situation where they refuse to spend more money, by and large, in the Republican caucus. And again, that's a formula for further disaster.
Can he do this by executive order?
No. No, they can't do it by executive order.
Okay.
Do what? Do what by executive order? No.
Extend unemployment, cut the payroll tax. I don't know. We're not in a normal world, Madam Speaker.
Well, he may be able he may be able to extend the moratorium on evictions, but that unless you have some money with that, it's helpful, but it's not the whole thing. And again, you can't do the money without the Congress of the United States. The power of the purse begins in the House. Appropriations bill shall begin in the House of Representatives. So here we are.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.